It was a quiet evening in the small town of Willow Creek. The sun was going down slowly, painting the sky with soft shades of orange and pink. Aarav was sitting near the window, holding a warm cup of coffee in his hands. The air outside was cool and birds were flying back to their nests. Everything looked peaceful, yet Aarav's heart was not calm. He was waiting for Maya. She had gone out early in the morning, wearing her favorite yellow dress. She smiled softly and said only one thing before leaving. "I'll be back soon." That small sentence stayed in Aarav's mind all day. He thought she had gone to meet a friend or maybe to the market. But as the hours passed, she didn't return. The sunlight faded and the house slowly turned dark. Aarav turned on the lights and called her number. The phone rang once, then stopped. He tried again and again, but there was no answer. He checked her wardrobe. Most of her clothes were still there. Her diary was open on the table and her favorite blue scarf was still hanging on the chair. It looked like she would come back any moment, but she didn't. Aarav sat down on the couch feeling lost. His mind was full of questions. They had small fights sometimes, about work, about plans, about silly things, but nothing serious enough to make her leave like this. He walked to the kitchen where the smell of her favorite tea still lingered. He looked at the garden through the window where she loved planting flowers. Every corner of the house reminded him of her voice, her laugh, her gentle way of talking. It was strange how one person could make a place feel alive, and without them, it felt empty and cold. The night grew deeper. Aarav sat near the window, watching the quiet street outside. A streetlight flickered. The sound of the clock ticked slowly in the silence. He couldn't sleep, so he opened Maya's diary. He knew she didn't like anyone reading it, but he needed to understand. On one page, she had written, "Sometimes silence says everything that words cannot." Aarav stared at those words for a long time. Was this her goodbye? Was she trying to tell him something through her silence? His eyes filled with tears, but there were no answers, only silence all around. The next morning, Aarav went out to look for her. He walked through the streets they often went together, the park, the bakery, the old bridge near the river. Nobody had seen her. Finally, he went to the bus station. A shopkeeper there said, "Yes, I saw her yesterday morning. She bought a ticket to the city." Aarav's heart sank. He wanted to run after her, but where would she go? He didn't know which city bus she had taken. Maybe she needed a break. Maybe she was tired of the same routine. Or maybe she needed time to find herself again. Days turned into weeks. Aarav still woke up early, hoping for a message or a call, but there was nothing. Sometimes he thought he heard her voice in the garden, but it was just the wind. He stopped calling her number, but he couldn't delete it. He read her diary again and again, trying to find any hidden clue. One page said, "Love is not about staying, sometimes it's about letting go." Those words gave him pain and peace at the same time. Maybe she left because she didn't want to hurt him anymore. Months passed and the seasons changed. The flowers in the garden grew wild, just like his thoughts. Aarav started going for long walks alone. Sometimes he would stop by the old bridge and look at the water. It reminded him of how life keeps moving, no matter what happens. People around him told him to move on, but he couldn't. How do you move on from someone who never said goodbye? Every evening, he still sat by the same window, the one where he had waited for her that day. The setting sun always brought her memories back. And yet, deep inside his heart, Aarav still had hope. Maybe one day Maya would walk back through the same door with that same soft smile. Maybe she would sit beside him and finally say the word she couldn't before. Until then, he chose to wait. Not because he was weak, but because love made him believe. Believe that even silence has its own language. And maybe one day her silence would turn into words again.